So yes, you heard that correctly. They bullied him to death, okay? Like they bullied this guy to death on stream, okay?
This was not just like a one-time thing. This was a recurrent gag on their streams where they bring Jean in and then they all just turn into like the toddlers from Weapons and start like ripping at him, beating him, insulting him. Like they really treat him like their prisoner, like a dog's chew toy or something. It is foul.
Raphael Graven, better known to his fans as Gene Permanove or simply JP, has died at the age of 46 during what was supposed to be just another marathon live stream on the platform Kick. Instead, it turned into something far darker. Reports say JP endured humiliating and abusive treatment throughout a grueling 12-day broadcast, and in the end, he didn't survive it. French police are now officially investigating, raising serious questions not only about what happened to JP in those final days, but also about the dangers of extreme streaming culture, where the pressure to entertain, shock, or push limits can sometimes go too far. Fans are devastated. JP wasn't just another streamer. He was one of the biggest names in France, someone who built a community, someone whose presence was felt every time he went live. And now, his sudden and heartbreaking death has sparked a much larger conversation about responsibility, accountability, and the true cost of content in the digital age. As the investigation unfolds, the tragic death of Gene Permanove is forcing both fans and critics alike to confront some very uncomfortable truths. This wasn't just an isolated incident. It's a culmination of a culture where streamers often feel pressured to go bigger, go longer, and sometimes go to dangerous extremes just to keep audiences engaged. For JP, what began as entertainment spiraled into something that now feels like exploitation. Reports of abusive and humiliating treatment during his final live stream paint a haunting picture of what he endured before the end. The reaction online has been overwhelming. Fans across France and around the world have flooded social media with tributes, sharing memories of JP's humor, charisma, and unique connection with his audience. But alongside the grief, there's also anger. Anger at the toxic behaviors that played out live, anger at the lack of intervention, and anger at platforms that some believe aren't doing enough to protect the very creators who keep them alive. Kick, the platform where JP streamed, is now facing intense scrutiny. Should they have done more? Could this tragedy have been prevented with stronger safeguards, stricter moderation, or limits on extreme content? These are questions investigators and the public are now demanding answers to. At the heart of all this, however, is the human story. A man who poured himself into his craft, who became a household name in the French streaming scene, is gone far too soon. His death is not just a loss for his community, but a stark reminder of the real dangers hiding behind the screens we consume every day. As French authorities continue their investigation, one thing is clear. This tragedy cannot be brushed aside. It's a wake-up call to platforms, to viewers, and to the industry as a whole. JP's legacy will be remembered not just for the content he created, but also, sadly, for the conversation his passing has now ignited. Streamers across the world are now openly speaking about burnout, harassment, and the pressures of always being on. Communities are re-examining their role in enabling harmful dynamics, and platforms are facing louder and louder calls to establish boundaries that prioritize human well-being over fleeting engagement. But amid all the analysis and outrage, it's crucial to remember the man at the center of it all. Gene Permanove was not just a streamer. He was a father, a friend, a person with dreams and struggles like anyone else. To reduce his legacy to just the circumstances of his death would be to miss the point. His story should serve as both a tribute and a warning. A tribute to the passion that drove him, and a warning about the dangers of unchecked online culture. If anything good can come from this, it is the hope that JP's passing sparks real change. That streamers feel more protected, that platforms take greater accountability, and that communities, both online and offline, choose empathy over cruelty. Because at the end of the day, behind every live stream, every video, every screen is a real human being. And Gene Pormanove's story is one we cannot afford to forget.